Good morning, everyone. Today I have with me James Fleming from Fleming Financial Solutions. Good morning, James. How are you doing?
Good morning. I am doing well, and how are you today?
I am fine, thank you. I
Good.
neglected to say that you are the owner of Fleming Financial Solutions. So tell me a little bit about your company and what you do.
Well, my company is a tax preparation and tax planning company. We've been in business close to 40 years here in the Maryland, D.C., Virginia area. We specialize in just helping small businesses to get the IRS and state and local governments off their back so they can keep more of their money.
Wow, I like that. So you specialize in small businesses?
Specialize in small businesses, also help individuals, but more so small businesses because small businesses are the ones that really have a problem with the IRS, state and local governments. So my goal is to help them keep more of their money, and in the case of real estate agents and others, keep more of their commission.
Oh, I like that being a real estate agent. I definitely like that. So tell
Yes.
me the industries that you work with the most.
Work with real estate agents, IT contractors. Those are insurance agents. Those are the ones that I work with the most. I've also had quite a bit of experience with construction companies, plumbers, any major service companies are my specialty.
Okay.
Do work with obviously with W-2 employees. They don't necessarily take advantage of the tax laws, which I would like to see the tax laws change a bit more to help high income earning W-2 employees. But that's not where the laws are focused. The laws are focused primarily on business owners.
Okay, so educate me here, okay? And forgive my ignorance. So tell me the difference between, because I'm hearing this, a tax preparer and a tax planner.
Okay. A tax preparer primarily focuses on history. They record history. What a tax planner does, just like if you were planning your wedding, planning your marriage, you would figure out how much money you had, how long the trip was going to take, and what your end result is going to be. A tax planner records the future and how they can affect the future, in your case, financially, so that you don't repeat mistakes that you may have made in the past. And so that's what our real focus is: creating history as opposed to just recording history.
So you're talking futuristic stuff. So I come to you
Yeah.
not necessarily to get my taxes done, but to tell you this is what has happened in the past. And let's talk about what we can do moving forward to make my picture better, to make me get more money, that type of stuff. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly it.
Okay. I thought you were going to say something else there. Okay. Okay. And are you a CPA and do you need to be a CPA for this type of work?
Not a not a CPA. I have been in. I'm sorry.
I didn't say anything.
Say again.
I didn't say anything.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I am. I'm not a CPA. I started in the accounting industry over 40 years ago doing tax preparation and working with counseling and working small businesses. What I do does not require being a CPA, but it does require me taking a number of continuing education courses throughout the year so that I can stay abreast of changes in the tax laws and continue to help my clients. So so it's not
Okay.
necessarily to be a CPA for what I do.
Tax. Okay. It's really, yeah, I'm really working on this because I've heard of tax preparers. So tax planner is a new terminology to me. So I'm just kind of trying to get my head around this.
Yeah,
Okay. I
again,
like this. I like this because as a real estate agent, as a realtor, we always need to be able to know what the laws are and stuff. And speaking of which, um, I don't want to admit this, but there were lots and lots of years where I actually did my own taxes. Now, I've been told that that is the dumbest thing I ever did, especially, but we have all this new technology now. We have all of this software and everything. For people who like to take chances, I guess, would you suggest that they do their own taxes, or is it always necessary for someone in a small business to have a
Well, I
taxes
would
done by a professional?
I would prefer that they have a tax professional work with them, but with the changes in the software, most people who are W-2s, employees, can do their own taxes. The IRS actually have a free file software if you make under 73,000 that you can do your own taxes. The problem with the box tax softwares and the IRS free file, if you are a small business owner, they don't ask enough questions and they don't understand your particular industry. So it's very difficult for you to get the best results from those software packages. So it would be better in those cases, as I said, especially if you're a small business owner, to approach a tax professional to be sure that you get the best for your particular situation.
Now you said that's for a W-9 employee. What a W-2 employee? What about a 1099 person like
Yeah,
myself?
as I was saying, it's the 1099 person that really needs a tax
It's
professional.
the 1099. Okay. Which
Right.
most of us are, of course.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, forgive me. It's the yes, a 1099 person really needs a tax professional. I got
Okay.
myself turned around a little bit.
That's okay. I just want to make sure, a little clarification there. You've been in this business 40 years, so I'm sure that you've seen a whole bunch of stuff happen. So let's have a little fun here. I want you to
Sure.
tell me a real success story where you actually made an impact. I mean, I
Okay.
know you
Okay.
make an impact, but give me something that's really unusual.
I'm going to have a couple of them. The
Oh,
first
cool.
one was there was a gentleman who was not happy with his tax preparer. And so he found me through Google, and I was near to where he lived. He contacted me and had him come in and sit with me and explain his situation. What we found out was that his tax preparer did not understand the real estate investing industry and
Oops.
what advantages that he could take care of. I took a look at his tax returns. I took a look at his last 2, 3 years returns. And based on that, I found some major missed opportunities.
Mm.
Bottom line on that was that about $62,000 of tax refunds were missed. And he was afraid that to send in the returns because it was such a large amount of refund that he was going to get. But I convinced him, send it in. If there's any issues, IRS will contact him. And in about 8, 10 weeks, he found a check for $62,000 in his
Oh
mailbox.
my goodness. Oh, you the man.
Absolutely.
You the man, James. I'm loving this.
Oh, he was extremely happy. And the issue was that, again, the preparer did not understand the tax industry. Well, he did not understand the real estate investment industry. So, by me having experience in multiple industries,
Mm.
I was able to do the very best for him in this case.
Give me another example. You said you had a couple.
Sure. There's an IT professional that contacted me. She had a situation where she lived in DC, lived in New York, lived in Maryland.
Mm.
So she had multiple state issues, and it looked like she was going to owe $11,000 in taxes between these
Ouch.
three areas. So again, went through the process of reviewing her taxes, reviewing her situation, and the IT industry that she was working in. Went through all of that. Bottom line was that instead of owing money, we were able to get her a $9,967 refund. I remember the number
Yeah, I
exactly
see that.
because yeah, I was able to remember the number exactly. It was interesting because of all the multiple states and issues that she had, and it was a startup. Um, so, but she had made excellent money. But again, the preparer didn't understand her industry, and I've seen this happen a lot. even with CPAs uh, who you assume may know uh, what they're doing, but if they don't understand or know the industry, they may not be able to handle the different tax laws associated
Mhm.
with that industry.
Which makes sense. Now I see why you really hone on small businesses and why you really, because there are so many different tax laws out there, you can really specialize in something and really stay on top of that. That makes sense to me as opposed to being a generic, one size
Yeah,
fits all. I'm going
yeah,
to flip the
that's
script here. Now you've told me some success stories.
okay.
Okay, let's talk about something that didn't go so well and why.
Okay. Um,
Don't
couple
make me
things.
cry now. Just tell me
Okay.
something sad.
Okay. Couple things that did well. One that immediately comes to mind is had a client come in. Oh boy, you just made me think of another one that was just as bad. Had a
Okay,
client
let's
come
hear them
in.
both.
Okay. Had a client come in who had heard all of these television programs, commercials about saving pennies on the dollar by contacting them for the IRS Fresh Start program. They would
Okay.
be able to get you all of this money
Yep.
back, and you would pay, as I said, pennies on the dollars for working with them. Um, there's so many things wrong with that, and so much so that the IRS has banned these companies from saying pennies on the dollar now.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so a couple of clients came in and said to me, "Hey, I want to see if I can go through what's called the Fresh Start program and see if I can get an offer and compromise and reduce the money that I owe."
Okay,
So
I'm sorry. Stop. For those of us who don't know, what's an offer in compromise?
an offer in compromise is where you go to the IRS and say, "I owe $11,000. I want to offer you $4,000. I've got that amount. I can write a check for that. Will you accept that and waive the additional 8,000, whatever that number is?"
Okay.
Everybody hears that and thinks that I can work with the IRS and reduce these taxes if I give them this offer. Well, that happens in some cases, but if you have a home and you have equity in your home, if you have a retirement account, that's not going to work. The very
Mm,
first thing is the IRS is going to say, one, can you get a loan against your house, and
house.
or can you pull money out of your
That's right.
retirement account to pay this money for the taxes or to pay down the taxes? So in those cases, no, that's not going to happen.
Okay.
So so clients walk away mad. Oh, and to make matters worse, I'll add this, is that if you make an offer, say you say to them, okay, I can give you $500 a month against this, the IRS will say, okay, we'll accept that as we work on whether or not we're going to improve your offer. So you got to pay that $500 a month until they approve your offer,
Ooh.
even if it's a year. You got to pay that, and they expect you in the meantime not to have any more tax debt on added
Ah,
on top of it. So there's a lot that's not explained to the consumer
mm,
as they're working through these offering compromises. So it you got to be sure that you understand and that the company that you're working with on these offers fully explain to you what's going to happen to you or what's not going to happen. So those are some of the sad stories
wait,
that
wait,
happen.
wait. This sounds like a bad short sale. That's really what this sounds like. I didn't let you tell your story. You were telling me about this particular client, and I stopped
Mhm.
you when you said that the client had heard about about an offering compromise. So, what happened to the client?
The client had to go get a additional job in order to pay the taxes to the IRS because their fear was that the IRS was going to place a lien against their house or garnish their paycheck. So they decided that, okay, I can't have either one of those things happen. If a lien is placed against the house, if I want to borrow money or if I decide to sell the house, then that's going to stop me. So I need to figure out a way to get this paid. So they took a second job and are using all of that money in order to pay down their IRS debt. So now they're struggling with that, but they got to do it.
Wow, that's really sobering. That is,
Yes.
yeah, I should have asked you the bad one first and then ended up on a good line. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, our time is coming to a close. This has been so interesting. It is at the end of the year. So let me ask you if you had some advice to give to someone who's, looking at next year and the taxes are going to be, what advice would you give someone?
Very first advice is to get your stuff together. Don't wait till the last minute in order
Yeah.
to uh, prepare for your taxes. Not do the taxes, but prepare for them. Okay, where are your tax documents? If you're a small business owner, have you done any of your bookkeeping for 2022?
Mm,
You need to start now and get as close to finishing as you possibly can. We're here in November, and most small business owners have done nothing at all regarding their taxes and or tax planning. And on December 31st is going to be too late to do anything as far as tax planning. One of the things that we take a look at is that some of the tax laws are going to expire on December 31st. For instance, there is what's called a uh, depreciation bonus, where you can literally write off 100% of a vehicle that you purchase for business purposes. That law expires on December 31st. If you had any intention of using it, you you're at a point now here in November 9th, and you may not be in a position to use it, especially if you don't know what your tax situation is, whether or not you've made money, have you lost money for the year, can you prove that, and do you have enough money to take advantage of that particular law. So these are some of the things that why you need to be in a position to do tax planning, because you don't want a surprise on April 15th.
yeah, they've been there. Don't want to go back. Okay. What's the best way for people to contact you?
Well, the best way right now to contact me is by giving me a call on my business line, and I'll do this slowly, is at 240-356-5050.
Repeat that,
That's
please.
240-356-50. And I will also give you a short email address. That's jam314 at comcast.net. Again, that's jam314 at comcast.net. My second email address, which is the longer one, is James at Fleming, Flem, 1M, ING, at Fleming Financial Solutions.com. That's James at Fleming Financial Solutions.com. What I try to do is respond to any phone calls within 24 hours, and I am constantly checking my email. You can also find me on Messenger and Facebook as well.
Okay. And on Facebook, it would be Fleming
And
Financial Solutions.
that is, I've had to take that one down because someone hacked into it. So on Facebook, just find me at James Fleming.
Okay. It has been a pleasure talking to you to James today, James. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Well, I thank you for inviting me on to have this conversation. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a little bit long time coming, but I appreciate it. Everything that you've done has been gracious to getting me on. I really appreciate it. And hopefully, if there's any questions, we'll have a chance to do it again soon.
Absolutely looking forward to it because I know you have many fingers in many pots, James. All right.